Good morning, everyone. It's Thankful Thursday. And yes, I'm in the passenger seat. So do not worry. I get it every time. I'm in the passenger seat for a little IG Live Thankful Thursday. Let's get the questions rocking and rolling. I'm here in Westchester, Pennsylvania, on my way to the airport to Miami for a meetup. We'll be doing a meetup there. Sean Gold, good to see you. We'll bring you on in about 1 minute. We've got a little bit of a start here. I was visiting Life Brands, and what Life Brands does is help your brand by scrubbing anything that may not be appropriate for applying for a job or as an athlete, a celebrity, anything that may come off in the wrong light that you don't want. They can go through all your entire social media and clean it up. So I want to thank Lifeland and TJ. His name is Co-Lazy. But he's the last thing that you would think of when it was lazy. Let me get my notes here going here. It is Thankful Thursday, and I'm thankful for everyone and everything. I am not taking for granted what other people are wishing for. We got Sean Gold coming on here live. I'm going to take one question and then bring Sean Gold on. Let's just take it here. How can someone stimulate interest over a voicemail? Well, first of all, they have to realize the purpose of a voicemail. The only reason to leave a voicemail is not to sell. It's to get someone to call you back. Or if it's your mother-in-law, maybe not to call you back. So once you know and understand the only reason to leave a voicemail is to get someone to call you back, now you can leave an appropriately timed message in order to effectuate stimulating interest to get them to call you back. We can go into that more. Here we go. Sean Gold is here with me. We're blessed to have him here on Thankful Thursdays. We're going to talk about inspiration behind his new brand. Hey, you're in the car as well. What's up, Sean?
Yeah, I'm up in Mulholland Drive in Los Angeles.
I'm a Southern California kid myself, so we know exactly where that is. And we miss. I'm in Philly right now, but I'll be on my way back to California. Uh, Give us a little bit of background on Pilgrim Soul and your new flagship product.
Yeah, so I've created this Pilgrim Soul Creative is a company I've created to help optimize human creative performance. Probably don't need to say human, but
Yeah.
just close the sentence. And it's a bunch of different products. Cannabis is one of the products, so it's cannabis and content and curriculum and community elements and the whole reason for this is that creativity is just this essential skill that in a world of AI and outsourcing and abundance of choice, creativity is one of these skills that will differentiate almost any human in the coming years.
And I think, one of the interesting things, I come from a technology background, and I actually work with SAP in their innovation studio. We share office space in Hudson Yards in New York. And one of the things that I see in my career is that for the first time, it seems as if technology has actually surpassed our imagination, that we need to focus in on things like your company to be more creative, to practice creating and imagining things and innovating things, because technology has stifled and stipend our ability to imagine. And it is so powerful that I'm worried that we're not utilizing the greatest AI created, the $1 trillion computer that sits between your ears and mine. What are
Totally.
you doing? Journaling, other aspects of what you do in order to stimulate that creativity, that power of innovation and imagination.
I think what some of the biggest enemies of creativity are judgment, fear of taking risk. I mean, as an entrepreneur, like very often the mistake is the creativity, and we learn the most from our mistakes. If we don't, and a person who makes no mistakes obviously makes nothing at all. So
Nice.
so the relying on default thinking is one of the things that I always challenge myself. Like especially as we get older, we thought about something, we solved a problem, we're like, oh, okay, I already know the answer to that problem. I don't need to really think. I'm just going to pull that out of my random access memory, and here's the answer. But things change, people change, situations change, and it's really important for you to just challenge your default thinking on an ongoing basis. Think about the new variable set and how that, whatever it is, and how that, what that outcome might be. And that's like one of the one things that I do is just like forget about it if you think you already know that. Why might the situation change?
And what about forcing a situation to change? Meaning that, when I get set into my own reality of best practices for David Meltzer and that which I portray or empower other people to do, I always, I'll give you an example. If I believe in vacationing every day and, there's no need not to have activity you pay for every single day, I'll actually take a weekend where I test the opposite just to give myself the perspective of maybe I don't know what I don't know. I'm telling all these people to vacation every day that you don't need to take 6 weeks off. I better take 3 days off and see if there is a difference, a positive or a negative result that has occurred. What do you think about, changing our habits to align with beliefs and then test those beliefs by breaking those habits just to get a litmus test on what reality is?
I think it's a good technique, putting yourself in different situations with different people, breaking your patterns. All these things are, great ways to stimulate creativity because you have to make different decisions and look at yourself from a different perspective. I think it's very important to change things up. We get complacent, especially as we get older. We get really, we get complacent. I think it's more actually common in men than in women. I find you know, like my mom, who's 84, she's gotten more radical with age, where my dad has gotten, complacent. So,
That's awesome. And,
so yeah.
speaking
So
about changing, oh, sorry.
go ahead.
I was gonna say, speaking about changing with time, dealing in the cannabis business, and growing up in Southern California. I know my wife's gonna hate me for saying this, but I considered my wife, and her family a bunch of stoners when I was young. It was completely antithesis of the academia, the more conservative family that I grew up with, and yet, today, what was actually illegal that some people spent, you know, and got sentenced to life for doing, it is now not only socially acceptable, but it's legal. And it's also, as everybody told me for the last 40 some years in my life, that it's actually good for you. How have you blended in the cannabis industry, the cannabis brands and products into your business and your own creativity?
Yeah. So, you're totally correct. And we have 70 years of propaganda that's telling us that cannabis is bad. Before that, it was a medicine. It's really only the last 70 years where it's been this, negative, product. But obviously anything used, moderation is important, obviously, with anything, be it alcohol or cannabis.
Or,
Um,
or catch
but,
up.
or yeah, food, anything. So uh, the cannabis is great for empathy. For me, I use it in my business for empathy, for focus, to make non-linear connections that I just ordinarily wouldn't make being stuck in my normal everyday habit. Cannabis is a great hack for it lights up the frontal lobe is one of the things that it does really well and has your neurons firing in a sort of more uninhibited way, but it also represses an area of the brain called the dorsolateral cortex, which is the judgment area of the brain. And when you're daydreaming or dreaming, that is repressed, and that's why you have these sort of just ridiculous thoughts when the dorsolateral cortex is repressed. And this usually works actually with low doses of cannabis. When you do too many high doses, when you get too high, you get paranoid, and if it actually it goes against creativity. All the research shows generally low dose is good. So people like Aaron Sorkin, who's known cannabis user, probably mushroom user, he uses it for empathy. Like when he's in a character, he's writing maybe what a woman, a pregnant woman might say in a certain situation. Clearly, he's a man. So how does he empathize with that character? What would they say, think, or do? Even when you're, like I used it because I'm a marketer. I would use it to what would that, I said at one point I was selling Hot Wheels. So, and Hot Wheels is about the nag factor. So the kid nagging the mom to buy a product. And I didn't have a kid at the time. I wasn't even married. So I was I had to think, I'd think through the scenario. And also to focus, I'm like a lot of entrepreneurs, very ADD, didn't pay attention in school, what was considered, intelligent, underachiever, and then achieved once I got out of school, just like focusing on the things I wanted to. But cannabis has been really great for me to really zoom in and focus on things. And then again, make those nonlinear, combinatory play, Einstein called it, where you put two things together that previously didn't exist. And that's really one of the, more prevalent definitions of cannabis, putting two previously existing things together in a new way. And cannabis is great for that.
Yeah, and Pilgrim Soul is a great platform in which to kind of not only explore the different benefits of it, but you mentioned medicinal use, which I think is so extraordinary because, so many of our just plain daily foods, I mentioned ketchup as being one of them, really put us at dis-ease. And, where it's so ironic because one of I think the greatest benefits of low dosage cannabis usage and creativity in general is that it actually puts us at ease. It puts us in the flow, that it actually clears inflammation and interference. This is the bilateral nature of our thinking and the focus. Where do you see people, I know journaling's a big thing. Where can people start to, because starting is the hardest thing, start to explore how to be more creative, whether it's through cannabis or other things that Pilgrim Soul's doing? Where can people start?
Yeah, well, I have this best-selling journal. I created this journal, the Pilgrim Soul Creative Thinking Journal, to be lightly self-promotional. But I put this thing out in COVID, and it's at pilgrimsoul.com. You can check it out. I put this thing out in COVID, and I sold $4 million worth of these journals in the last 11 months. It shocked me. I didn't think people would take it people are taking it very seriously and using it to, a lot of famous people who are doing it too, like Martin. I'm actually working on a project with Martin Lawrence on the next one, which is coming out soon. People like Annie Lennox and Alicia Silverstone, like just so many truly creative people have been using these journals. And I took techniques from like Tinker Toys and Brain Game Storming and all these famous books, and they just weren't fun. I just made them kind of a lot more fun to do with friends, boyfriends, girlfriends, wives, and also, I don't know if I've sent you any, but it's really kind of fun to do, and they're just techniques like analogies and metaphors and a lot of different classic creativity, ideation, innovation, brainstorming techniques are in there.
That's amazing. And I love when we don't take ourselves so seriously and it just seems to happen, like $4 million in sales of product, when so many people are trying so hard by creating interference between themselves, by attaching their emotions to an outcome, which is another area that you're attaching your emotions to the energy and motion to the right part by identifying where you're projecting that. And just genius stuff, Sean. And I look forward to, hopefully you'll send me some of those journals, and I look forward to doing more with you because, I am 100% endorsing the Pilgrim Soul's journey, pilgrimsoul.com. I wish more people would teach people, or at least raise the awareness, or even plant seeds under trees that they may never sit under, no pun intended, when it comes to cannabis. Let's all plant the seeds of creativity, innovation. Let's get out of our own way, get into the flow, and be kind to our future selves, do good deeds. And that's exactly what I see you doing, Sean. So thank you so much for joining.
One last thing I can say is only the insane take themselves seriously.
I agree. Rule number 6, don't take yourself so seriously. If you want to know rule number 1 through 5, go to rule number 6. You and I share that in common. Thanks so much. Peace.
Bye. Thank you, Darren.
Right from Mulholland. We got the mobile Meltzer today. Right from Mulholland Drive there in in Los Angeles. We're here. That's Jakey Bakey's hometown. We are here in Philly, going to the airport. We're going to visit Miami, get to see some extraordinary people. Tim Grover's waiting for us. Patrick David, Sean Dill, the incredible Kim Perrell, and Mike Tannenbaum. We all may remember him as the general manager of the New York Jets, and he's on ESPN now. Just incredible people. All right, let's take a couple questions. We are always rocking and rolling on Thursday. Why? because it's Thankful Thursday. It's the time when we're not going to take for granted what other people are wishing for. We are going to appreciate, add value to everything that we do. And a big shout out to Dana Pump calling me right now. That's one of Jakey Bakey's heroes, the great Dana Pump, and David Pump, his twin brother. Great guys. Anyway, Charlie Bonello, I see you there. We're going to do about 5 minutes of quick questioning, and we'll bring you on. Keaton, good to see you. Also needs to work on being a student accountant. He was calling me during my playbook. Way to go. As a father of four, yes, that's me. What are you most thankful for? My health. Because if I'm healthy, I get a million wishes a day. And if I'm not healthy, I only have one wish. If I'm healthy, I can take care of others because I've already taken care of myself. Health is the number one thing to be grateful for. Then my family, and then the activity I get paid for. These are the things that I am grateful for. I am not going to take for granted my health ever, which is why today, even up at 3 a.m. Pacific time, get my minimum of an hour a day on my health done. Hoping to find my boy Mike Mamola in the gym, but he was meditating. He was doing internal exercises while I was taking care of the external exercises, both very important. What is your daily goal? I don't have daily goals. I have daily practices that have daily milestones. Milestones are things that we can go past. Goals are things that end. Attaching our emotions to a goal will create resistance, void, shortages, and obstacles. I teach people to know their what personally, what they want, experientially, what they want, giving wise what they want, receiving wise what they want. And what is important with the what they want is who we can help with what we want and who can help us. Understanding the efficiencies, effectiveness, and statistical success on how we're going to get it done, which allows us to prioritize. That is the superpower of life, is to be able to quickly make a decision of what's most important to us. If you can quickly make a decision of what's most important to you, you got the game going on, my friends. You will do so very well to be productive. You'll be adding more value to be accessible. You'll be accessible to so many people and be able to access what you want, who you can help, and who you can help you by being able to know what's important to you and how to get it done, as well as being gracious, as we talked about. You will have that superpower of finding the light, the love, and the lessons in everything you do, the superpower of perception, all given by gratitude. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. It's Thankful Thursday. We keep rocking and rolling. There's so many great questions that come here. One of my favorites: why is consistency so powerful? Because consistency is how the mind, the body, and the soul are connected to the activities that we want, the activities we get paid for, the activities we don't. It is the key to the habit machine. The fuel of the habit machine is consistency. If you're consistent, your cellular structure, your cellular memory will pick up things. And even though your eyes, your nose, your mouth, your taste, your touch are inaccurate, it'll start picking up the stable data and feeding it to your subconscious, where neural pathways are formed. The true efficiency, effectiveness, and statistical success of the subconscious allows us to effectively communicate with the unconscious competency that we have. It changes our personality traits, our characteristics, our obsessions and addictions. It allows us to break the chain of genetic inheritance, allows us to break the chain of energetic inheritance. It allows us to grow, expand, and excel. It allows us to make more money, help more people, and have more fun. Consistency is so powerful because it is the fuel of the habit machine, from the conscious to the subconscious to the unconscious competencies, changing us, letting us grow, allowing us to be the best that we can be, and enjoying the journey as we move along. All right, a couple minutes away, we're going to be joined by our next wonderful guest here. What are some religions you have studied, and what did you like learning about them? I tried to study almost every religion: Old Testament, New Testament, the Quran, Mormon, the Book of Mormon, Book and Course in Miracles. And what I like most is that which unites us. I love the fact that most religions I've studied have a source, an omniscient, all powerful, all meaningful, all purposeful source that cares as much about us that we care about our own children, or as much about us as our parents care about us, willing to do anything and everything. The only difference of the source is that source is ignorant and humble, ignorant and arrogant like we are. It's all knowing, all powerful. And the faith that I gather from that, from all religions, that there is a source that cares that much about me. Whoa, when pain, setbacks, failures, mistakes happen in my life, I get excited because I know if I can learn the lesson that I'm being taught something to put me in a better place, a better position, or make my situation better. Oh boy, that's what I've learned from all religions. And I hope your religion can be appreciated the same as other religions appreciate how common and aligned they are, and appreciate the differences as well, so that we can unite with that all-powerful source, however you define it and whatever it means to you. So bless you all, and we are rocking and rolling here, and we will bring on our next amazing guest here. Shoot, let me close that out. There we go. Um, Hopefully you'll join. Charlie, you here? Charlie Bonello. We'll try again. We'll hit that one more time. Accept. Charlie Bonello. We are letting you join us here on the mobile live. We learn here. We're going to talk about reliable child care, which is essential in America, that we take care of our children. Why we invest more in our cars than we do our children? That shouldn't be. Make the investment. Understand where we're at. Uh, Charlie. I've sent the acceptance. Try it one more time. Hopefully you see it there. Back and see if Charlie, if you're here, please comment it once again. Was able to join Jakey Bakey, so do not know where my friend Charlie went. So give me a moment. I'll take another question. Thank you all for your patience. Thank you very much. Here we go. What's your go-to cheat meal? I love that. You know, it's not where you vacation; it's where you live. I think it's important in moderation to cheat. My favorite cheat meal is probably a Happy Meal. Uh, there's just something energetic about a Happy Meal to me, and I don't do it often, but that's my favorite cheat meal. Go through a drive-through, perfectly done Happy Meal, with a toy, of course, and it makes me very happy. I think the happiness outweighs the 200 with apples. Yes, the 220 calories that a hamburger without cheese has at McDonald's with the tiny little delicious, just a taste of everything, that I want. All right, we are back on track. Hey, Charlie.
Hey, David, how are you? We had some technical issues over here. It's 2021, and I still haven't figured out a video chat. Look at that.
Hey, Instagram's not going to stop us, my friend. There's not a chance. We have important mission at hand to take care of our children. Very important
Absolutely.
for me, and you're doing such a fabulous job. Give us a little bit of background on what you're doing for childcare.
Yeah, sure. So, look, Vivi's entire mission is to make exceptional care and learning accessible and affordable for working families by partnering with their employers to provide it as a benefit. You know, I happen to be the first dad at Vivi. My 2-year-old's been going there since she was 3 months old. I just had twins about a month ago. So I'm not only the first dad, I'm also the biggest one over here. And so, like, you know, in the ham and egg breakfast of life, the chicken is interested and the pig is committed. I'm very much the pig in this case, right? But when me and my co-founder started Vivi, neither of us were parents. It really came from our experience seeing it, the impact that childcare had on working families and on their employers. And it was crazy, right? In my last company, which we grew to have 1,000 people under our purview, it was like once a week somebody would come into my office and say, I'm pregnant, or my wife's pregnant, or my partner's pregnant. And they'd come back the week after that and say, holy crap, did you know it costs $4,000 a month to put my kid in a daycare that looks and smells like a hospital, and it's 20 minutes away in the other direction. It's only open until 3, and there's a 15-month waiting list. Is it even worth it for me to go back to work? And half of them never did. But that stuff is true anywhere you go in the US. Close your eyes and point to a map. And there's going to be 3 things that are true there. Number one, families spend more on childcare than they do on housing, healthcare, food, and college. Number 2, there's not enough of it. The average, 75% of Americans live in a place where there's 3 times more kids than available capacity. And so it bleeds into the workforce. 50% of full-time employed women never go back to work after they have their first kid. And so, look, we can talk about this for a long time. COVID has only made this worse. It inspired us to build a program that was aligned to what families and employers need. So what does that actually mean? It means we have to have the quality that parents demand. So all of our teachers are full-time employees. We don't have any hourly employees. They're paid salaries. They all have benefits. And we gave them all ownership. in the company. They're all shareholders. And that's really important for us because we wanted to make sure to have everybody on the same team. And it doesn't matter how beautiful a website is or how great a space is. It's the teacher you're dealing with every day, right? Number two was really this relentless focus on health and safety. Number three, I think, was really about hours and convenience. So we're open 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., Monday through Friday, every day of the year. That's what parents need today, right? And as you look at the model and see, well, why are schools only open until 3 o'clock? And why are they not open during summers? It's because they were created 80 years ago. And so what does that mean? It means bakeries closed at 4 o'clock, so moms had to pick their kids up by 3 in order to get there. And number two, there was no air conditioning. So these places were uninhabitable. Now when we're living in a world where, it's dual income households, moms need to work, these kinds of things are imperative for them to be able to do it. And look, there's no cutting corners on this. Employers have such power to be able to change it for them. Anyways, I've been rambling for a little bit, but you can tell I get excited about it.
Yeah, you should.
David, you're breaking up a little bit. I don't know if you're...
I was going to say, how do you make that so affordable? Sorry about that.
Yeah, well, look, there's no cutting corners on this, right? Space costs money, people cost money, especially great people. And so we really look at this in two ways. The first is we want to make sure that we're families' one-stop shop to support them in all of their early childhood needs, right? And so just by being open 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., that solves so much of it, right? Because if you think about it, a traditional preschool or daycare that's open until 3 or 4 o'clock, how do mom and dads who both have jobs do that? Well, either one of them has to cut back, and 9 times out of 10 it's mom, or they have to hire somebody else to go do pick up and drop off, and maybe they're lucky enough to have grandma do it, or like a neighbor or something like that. But who's piecing their life together like this? So just by function of being open 7 to 7, we're reshaping the wallet for families and saying, okay, you're going to have access to all this, and you don't have to go crazy trying to find solutions. We're there for you. The second thing is, look, when we partner with employers, they subsidize the cost for their employees. And so right now, on average, our employers subsidize like 65 to 75% of the cost for their employees. So it's taking something that, is aligned with the top programs in any area and bringing it down to a cost that's below anything that you can find. And it just makes it aligns everybody's interests so much. Because look, if your employer is helping you pay for your childcare, not only are you going to be able to show up, you're going to be loyal and grateful and hardworking, and you're never going to leave. And that's the name of the game for everybody, because there's nothing insidious about it. This is supporting people when they need it most and helping to reimagine the way that they experience a time of their life. It's supposed to be full of joy, right? And I know you have 4 kids, so you're a little bit ahead of me. In between being up to your elbows in diapers or, going through bills, it's important to remember to fill your heart there. And if we can afford that opportunity twice a day, every day, we've done our job in a large sense.
It's so funny too, because talent is at an all-time high as far as value of talent.
Yep.
And especially women are so talented, and we're losing so much of our talent to entrepreneurship because there's such a great overlap in the daycare ability that, I'm working with several companies with entrepreneurship that, moms can work from home. And now, though, entrepreneurship, these companies, have this freedom, and with the support of daycare, even if you're working at home, we found that, you can't get your activity get paid for done. It's essential if you're working at home.
Yeah. It's this, we saw this crazy stat that was, so look, we know 2.5 million women were forced out of the workforce in the last 18 months. And some of that was because of supply and demand on the childcare front. 60% of capacity shut down. But look, the biggest number here, the average parent right now is spending 27 hours more per week on care than they were before COVID. Where do you find an extra 27 hours in the week? It's sleep and it's work. And so saying just you have flexibility to get your work done whenever means that moms are going to be up until 5 o'clock in the morning after they put their kids to sleep. And it's just, how sustainable is that? This is such a fortunate problem for employers to have, because it's, David, how much do you wish that every problem you had could be solved with money?
Yeah, right.
There you go. The solution's right there. And it just requires being committed to it and understanding what the ROI on the other side is.
Right, and I think that's where the corporate support comes in, is the ROI, is our ability to articulate the quantitative value of recruitment and retention of employees alone, besides productivity. If you take the recruitment, retention, and productivity, the math only makes sense to a corporate employer who's struggling with what? Recruitment,
retention, and productivity.
Engagement and productivity. Right.
Come join our sales team. We're always looking for good folks to come on board. You've got the pitch, and look, it really is that simple.
I'm working with these people every day in education. And childcare is so important. And so, where can people find you? Where can companies find you? Where's the best place to reach out?
Look, so the best way to get us is at vivi.com, VIVVI.com. And I'm just Charlie at vivi.com. Shoot me an email. I respond. I've got the fastest fingers in the West. Nothing goes more than 10 hours without a response from me. We're committed to serving employers of all sizes where they are. And so that means that we have our schools. We serve families in their homes across the country. We have a virtual tutoring product for older children. And we even have a financial product now for families who want to be able to reserve a grandparent or a cousin or a neighbor to watch their kids. Our brand promises meet you where you are, and that's what we have to do.
I love the way you do business, Charlie. Reach out to my friend. Absolutely. It's good to know someone else answers their own emails like me. Those fingers gotta stay quick. And thank you for helping our company stay on its feet and accelerate and expand with the greater portion of our inhabitants, our moms. We're losing a great resource in business with all the moms in the world. They seem to know a lot. So thanks, Charlie. Come back and visit me, okay?
It'll be my pleasure. I'm grateful for you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. The Vivi learned. There we go. Unbelievable. These little subtle changes in a corporate background can change a business. Retention, recruitment, engagement, productivity. What if I told you I could increase your recruitment capabilities, your retention capabilities, the productivity as a whole and engagement as a whole in your business simply by taking care of people and their families? Oh my gosh, what an amazing thought. That's what Charlie's doing over there. Give him a shout. All right, let's take a quick question as we are on the mobile Mamola and Meltzer Mobile here in Philadelphia. We're rocking and rolling for the Thankful Thursdays. You can do this anywhere. Why don't you share your experiences and your knowledge with me? Give me some good questions. What are you traveling to and what are you doing? Well, I was at Light Brands this morning. Of course, I had office hours with some extraordinary guests, as usual, the Michael Maros of the world from Entree. And now I'm going to go do another podcast at a hotel by the airport, then fly out to Miami, 3 different dinners, finishing up with Mike Tannenbaum, my man, the unbelievable sports executive that he is and humanitarian. It's going to be good to hang with him. So we're going to do a meetup tomorrow in Miami. What time is that, Jake? 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time at the JW Marriott Marquis. Meet me at the JW Marriott Marquis in Miami, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Come meet me tomorrow. We're going to love it. So we've been doing meetups. We did one in Propelify yesterday in New Jersey, in Philly, at the statue there on Chestnut. And then tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time at the Marriott Marquis in Miami. Come join me. Please come to the meetup. Anything you learned at your meetup yesterday? I learned that a closed mind is like a brick wall and an open mind is like an unlocked door. So do not knock on the brick wall. Knock on the unlocked door. When you find a brick wall, don't try to go over, under it, through it, around it. Simply go to a keyed, unlocked door and ask for 2 things. 1, if they can help you or if they know one that can help you. I have an open-ended question template that can help facilitate that for you, where you simply find out whether someone's a brick wall or an unlocked door. If they're an unlocked door, then utilize open-ended questions to facilitate how you can be of service and value by asking them what they're doing today pertaining to what you're interested in, what they like about it, what don't they like about it, and how you can be of service. Would it help you if I did this? And then turn it all around and say, do you know anyone that can help me? Learn this open-ended question guide. It will change your life. The same as my referral fee document. Both of those will change your life. If you want either of them, reach out to me, David at dmeltzer.com, David at dmeltzer.com. david@dmeltzer.com. I'll throw in the open-ended question guide. I'll throw in the template. I'll store my book, man. I'll sign a book, send it to you, pay for the book and shipping. david@dmeltzer.com. All right, we got time for a couple more questions as we're cruising right by the airport. It's beautiful. What does asking big mean to you? Well, I'm doing a training on asking big this Friday. You can't imagine how much you limit yourself. That's what it means to me. You give meaning to everything you see. Just when you think you're asking big, I promise you, you're not. You're asking for crumbs. I want people to get into the perspective that why am I asking for crumbs, not what am I asking for? Why am I asking for too little? What am I doing to limit myself to the possibilities and the probabilities that have changed my perspective? Is your world big enough? Are your dreams, does your reality surpass other people's imagination? Then you got to keep thinking big. Think bigger, think more often, ask bigger, ask more often. You got to think big. I promise you, give me any thought that you have and I can think bigger. You think in infinity? I'm thinking infinity plus one. I got you there since I've been 4 years old. So everybody, let's stop thinking about crumbs. Stop limiting yourself with fear, with interference. Stop giving yourself those ego-based consciousness of the need to be right, offended, separate, inferior, superior, anxious, frustrated, angry, guilty, separate. Don't do it. Think big, think bigger, think plus one. You can do it, everyone. That's what it means to me. I give meaning to everything I see. That's what it means to me. I give meaning to everything I see. Don't forget it. Here we are. What's something you learned from yesterday's meeting? Oh, I read that one. I learned not to ask the same question twice. Is that awesome? Okay. Hat. Does money mean, what does money mean to you? Money is a currency. It's an object of energy that I put into the flow to get what I want. Money allows me to shop. It will not allow me or buy me happiness or love. But what it will do, it will, if I shop for the right things, for the right reason, it will make me happy. Money gives me the ability to shop. Boom. Money at this man-made construct allows me to shop. If I shop for the right things with the right reasons, boom, I will be happy. If I shop for the wrong things for the wrong reasons, I'll create void, shortages, and obstacles, opportunities for me to learn, but not necessarily giving me happiness. More importantly, most likely will give me pain, obstacles, void, shortages, things like that. So use money to give yourself opportunities and options to shop for the right things for the right reason. All right, everyone. That'll do it for today. It is Thankful Thursday. I'm thankful for you all. I am not taking for granted what other people and myself are wishing for. You can join me every day. Tomorrow we have a meetup in Miami, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time in Miami at the Marriott Marquis. Come join me or join me for training. We're going to give the training on crumbs. Please reach out to me if you want my book, ebook, audiobook, david@dmeltzer.com. Thanks so much.